So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another Connect and Share on Friday. We are here with Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. And today we're going to have a little bit of debrief on what it means for particularly our small businesses in the budget that was announced this week, plus a few other things. But before we get into the detail of all of that, I'd love to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands that we all come from today, and certainly pay my respects to our elders past and present. And we are certainly looking at the detail that's coming from our First Nations survey from all of you in helping us understand a little bit about what's happening in the industry and how we can support you in that connection and engagement with First Nations going forward, and changing our lens of which we we look on for everything that we do. So yeah, looking forward to what comes out of that subcommittee as we get into it. But let's go to the budget, our favorite topic every year, isn't it? I'm sure it is for everyone. Okay, so we have quite a bit there that is for small businesses, so I thought I'd focus on that particularly. And there is that cost of living package, as so they called it, around the energy price relief, and that wasn't just for individuals and houses, but also for small businesses. So looking forward to the detail obviously on that, but that was certainly part of the announcement. There was also the small business energy incentives, so up to $20,000 could be obtained in tax deductions by looking at energy efficient practices within small businesses. So one also to understand the detail on as that comes through Parliament and gets approved. And then, of course, the continuation of the 20,000 instant asset write-off. So remembering that that was in the last couple of years now, that has been put into the budget to continue. The cash flow boost was around the calculating the pay-as-you-go and also GST increases. So it used to be at 12% as an estimate for cash flow for small businesses when you added your PAYG, but now it's down to 6% as part of the budget promises. And then reducing regulatory burdens was a topic that was had a few things under it, but certainly the summary for you is that the accountants now can do more for you in helping with admin support by lodging your single tax payroll, not just once, but into the future. And also you have the ability to amend your tax returns for up to 4 years now. So that means that, if circumstances have not enabled you to effectively do your tax return, you've now got that 4-year buffer. The next one is the amnesty on failure to lodge penalties. So again, dating back to late 2019, if you didn't get your tax returns in, they are providing a fee-free and amnesty period for you to lodge those tax returns and not be penalised. The next one, which had quite a sum of money attached to it, was the Apprenticeship Support Initiative. And this goes to a whole program. Again, details will come out as it goes through Parliament, but basically it's supporting that skills gap in apprenticeships. Now, there is a session next week with Business New South Wales to look at the budget in total, and I have submitted a couple of questions relating to this exact program to see the detail and if it does actually support the traineeships, and particularly for our sector, of course, because we have a large amount of incoming personnel through a traineeship program. The TAFE fee-free was part of that announcement, and that the continuation of that and adding to it. I won't. I'll save my comments on that one, but I'll just say we need to really watch that one with interest, because we know that the capacity of our TAFEs is quite limited. So fee-free is great, but not if the TAFEs can't deliver what we actually need them to do. So I'll just stop it at that without getting on my high horse. But yeah, one certainly that we will watch. The Buy Australia plan will actually improve SME access, so small medium enterprise access into into tender processes. So enabling more small businesses to weed their way through what sometimes is an overwhelming process to be part of tendering for government work. We've got certainly coming up soon is the defence tender, and even if you look at some of those documents, I think a lot of small medium enterprises are put off by the extent of that paperwork. So good to see there's an incentive there around Buy Australia plan to get more small medium enterprises into those opportunities. And working hours for student visa holders. The cap is now permanently lifted to 48 hours. So that's an 8-hour increase on pre-pandemic levels. So great news for some of those students that have come over and visa holders that we want to get into our industry and fill some of those shortfalls. So that's pretty much it on the budget. Actually, before I change the page, was there any other questions or anything that anyone had around the budget and how it relates to our industry at all? If not, I will then move to the next slide. So we'll continue with the other topics. So National Volunteer Week is next week. It starts on the 15th, goes through to the 21st. So I wanted to remind you all, because if you do have volunteers in your organisations or part of your system, please make sure you reach out. And although we do it all through the year, this is a special week where we can certainly, on a national level, say thanks and support them. So on that note, because I will be traveling as we do next week's Connect and Share, I'm jumping in a little bit early, but I wanted to thank our fabulous volunteers. We now have 50 volunteers that are part of our network, and that's through all the subcommittees, the directors of the board, and a huge thank you for what you contribute, not only in attending meetings, but outside of meetings, and what you bring knowledge, experience and expertise to Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. So a huge thank you to all of you, and I hope you have a fabulous week and able to celebrate in some way for you. So the next one is around micro-credentials and the offer of the Destination New South Wales Sustainability Credential. So this closes next week. So you've only got till the 19th of May to jump in. It is only available to businesses, but you can get you can be taken through the EarthCheck accreditation, and that is totally free if you're able to get in before the 19th of May. So a good opportunity to really have a look at your practices and how you can maybe do better in your organisation, but also have a badge of honour, if you like, or a badge of credential to showcase and say that you are understanding of the sustainability skills needed in a business. We've got the excuse me, the Festival Canoe and Kayak, affectionately known as the FOC, coming up on the 23rd and 25th of June, so right through that weekend. Amazing activities. I've looked at the website, and Dylan and the crew have done an amazing job pulling this together. So a big promotion for them in making sure that if you're interested in any of this this space, please get down to the FOC, because there's, as you can see there, music on the water, there's food, there's wine, there's a whole heap of action going on, as well as getting on the water as well. This one, I don't know how much people know about, but if your website is using Google Analytics and you are not aware of the discontinuation of Google Analytics, you need to take note. So please have a look at your website, whatever way you track your analytics through visitors to your website. Make sure you have either migrated over to Google Analytics 4, because the Universal Analytics, you remember on that platform, when you do look at your analytics, there's a UA, that's Universal Analytics. That will cease as of the 1st of July. So it is really important that you've got the next month and a bit to get ahead and make sure that you are tracking your website activity onto the new platform, because potentially you could lose all your historic data. as of the 1st of July. And that would be quite detrimental to some of you, I'm sure, when you're wanting to benchmark where your website's heading into the future. So for more information on that, don't ask me. I'm not your Google Analytics specialist. I had to seek some advice from others in the know, but certainly anyone in the IT area that you might know will have a handle on this. They're calling it D-Day in IT world, so it is considered quite a substantial change. So make sure you are up to date. The New South Wales Public Charter we spoke about some time ago, and I just thought I'd remind everyone about this program. It's brought to you by New South Wales State Government, but it does have a considerable area that we can certainly look at. In particular, they've got a stream there where businesses and local contacts can get involved in their local spaces. So I'll just play this for you now.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Fishburn. I'm the Secretary of the Department of Planning, Industry and Environment, and I'm here in Eat Street, Parramatta to tell you about the New South Wales Public Spaces Charter. The Department has developed the New South Wales Public Spaces Charter to ensure that people across New South Wales are supported to have great quality public spaces. It's people who are at the heart of public space, and it's the way they use it that makes it meaningful. The memories that come together, the experiences they have, just being part of community. These are the things that are embedded in a good public space. The Charter provides an evidence-based narrative about the benefits of good quality public space and provides 10 principles to help support the development of great public spaces. These principles and the Charter have been developed in consultation with many stakeholders. We're inviting all New South Wales government agencies who are responsible for public space to sign up to the Charter and to use the 10 principles when they plan, design, manage or activate public spaces. And not just New South Wales government, we're asking local governments to come on board too. We know that councils are custodians of public spaces. We ask you to be part of this and to join with us, to join with New South Wales Government and industry to commit to the delivery of great public spaces for everyone. I'm really excited about the way the Charter will transform how we think about and how we use our public spaces. And I'm encouraging you to commit to this Charter and join the department on the journey of delivering great public outcomes.
So that is a charter that we have signed as Outdoors New South Wales and ACT amongst many of the other stakeholders in the space across the state. But the interesting part why we're involved in this is certainly to encourage more activation of these public spaces with the likes of our members and active recreation opportunities. So we're actually going to have them in our Connect and Share in June. So they'll talk a little bit more about that and in particular how it connects to our industry. Careers. My goodness, we've got a lot going on in the career space. So we are now involved in 6 different activities to promote activities in the outdoors, careers in the outdoors. So the first lot are all the South Coast, and the Shoalhaven one is on the 7th of June. Eurobodalla in Batemans Bay area is on the 28th of June, and Bega Valley is on the 26th of July. Now, if any of you are wanting to push your careers in your organisations and certainly support getting more people into our space, let me know which ones of these you're interested in. All you need to commit to is the day, and when I say day, it's a school day, so not usually our length of day, our 9 to 3, and you can come along and talk to the students about what you do and how exciting the careers in the outdoors can be, and also conduct a few activities with them, so team building exercises or whatever you feel you would like to contribute. We'd love you to come along. So again, 7th of June, 28th of June, 26th of July. If you're interested in any of those events, please reach out to me. I've got 3 operators that I can have at those events. So getting quick and we'll put you down for those. The other career activities, we're going to have a careers day specifically for sport and recreation in Lake Macquarie. A date to be advised, but we're expecting around August, September, and we're doing that in partnership with the Department of Education REAP team, which is, let me get this right, Regional Enterprise Industry Partnerships is the name of their team. So look forward to that one, but we have locked in Maitland, and that's certainly looking like a fabulous event. We're going to be having that at Maitland Park, and we'll be doing it in partnership with Defence and Emergency Services. So it'll be us and them, and we'll have lots of fun with the kids in the park, doing scavenger hunts and talking about our careers to promote the outdoors. The big one we've been talking for some time about now is the Sydney Careers Expo. Not till September, but I've certainly got some of you interested in this, and this one comes at a cost, but only because of the size and the reach that we get when we go to this event, and it's only $300 per business to come along and support with that, and with that you get 2 passes to attend the event, to be part on the stand, or just also network amongst the Career Expo. So that's at the Hordern Pavilion in Sydney. The caravan and camping industry report just came out, and I thought this might be interesting for some of you. Alex, you probably already received it, I'm not too sure, but really interesting report on what's been going on in the caravan and camping space. And remembering this is obviously the commercial side, not the free camp side, but yeah, some interesting insights into that, and certainly the economic worth that brings this sector contributes to. The thing to remember in this is it's highly leisure-based, as you'll see there, but there is that element of our space that's incorporated in that report. So if you want to know more, you will receive that on your members newsletter this week. Reminder about the grant that's closing with Destination New South Wales. It's not often that you get the opportunity to apply for $250,000. So I've been telling you about this for some time, but it is a matched opportunity of funding. If you are looking at some infrastructure for your nature-based experience, then this grant is certainly for you, and it does close on the 25th of May. So you haven't got long now to get in for this. And as I've said a couple of times now, we are more than happy to support with letters of support and to get you into the running for this grant. So this is through Destination New South Wales. All the details are on their website, and you could receive up to $250,000 to go to your program. I really need to push this survey again. We need a little bit more content from members that have not applied, or sorry, not responded through this survey. This is our labour survey, and it relates to international staff and resourcing. We are looking at submitting a labour agreement for the outdoor industry with the federal government, but we actually really need some data behind your numbers. The data to date is certainly emphasising our need. I would love to see more of that content to ensure that we really do have the best opportunity to get this labour agreement through. So if you're wanting skilled workers from overseas, I urge you, please scan that QR code, jump onto our website. For those that are listening and not seeing, that website is your secure https://outdoors.kartra.com/survey/labour needs 2023. And the other survey we have open at the moment is around nature therapy. This is a study we're doing with the Macquarie University here in Sydney to look at the extent of nature therapy when it comes to connection to the medical and health areas. What do we need to ensure that we are considered as part of things like NDIS, or as we know, our medicines are under the PBS scheme. So how do we consider the benefits of nature therapy in that mix of health outcomes, and be seen as certainly an opportunity for better health and well-being? So yeah, fill out that survey. Same intro to the last survey, and your / there is nature therapy at the end. This is another reminder to all our members, you do have access to list your business, list your event on our public facing website. Now, this is not to be confused with your membership portal, where your membership portal has all the information that we provide under your membership benefits, but this is our public facing website where you have the ability to list your own product and list your own events. So please, the easiest way is to log in up top there. And if you haven't got a login, just request one and we'll make sure we get that to you. Under your menu here, you have two options, list business or list event. As soon as you click on one of those, it goes to a page here and you just need to click to add a business or add event, add all your details, and it will appear on your public facing website, which will either be on the events page or the business page. So reminder there, but make sure you take advantage of that, particularly if you have something coming up that you want out in the marketplace. The NATCOR, National Centre for Outdoor Risk and Readiness, is having some workshops in July, and now the registrations are open. So we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. They are two different types of programs, one for middle management and one for senior management. Certainly the outcomes are around your ability to learn on risk and readiness. You've got Claire Dallett and also Deborah Yango who are delivering these sessions. So very knowledgeable presenters, and that website there is your link to get to that registration. The numbers are capped, so if you are interested, I'd urge you to get in to make sure you don't miss out.
If you do miss out, you can always have a trip up to sunny Brisbane, and they're coming up after the New South Wales ones. I think we're the last leg of the national road show, so come and join us if there's spots available in ours as well. So.
Yeah, great idea, and escape the winter because it's going to be right in the middle of winter. You can get to Queensland, but yes, that's right. And there are some options in Perth and Victoria as well. So yeah, if you're out and about and want to take up those opportunities, they're all listed on that website link as well. Thanks for that. And now today is the last day you can get your early bird rates for the Outdoor Industry Summit. So yeah, big crap this one. Just a reminder to get in and buy your tickets, because they will certainly be hot off the press after the early bird closes. But yeah, it's looking up to be an amazing lineup. And if you haven't seen the lineup, please go to the website, because you can see a full list of all of the speakers that will be presenting and the topics. Now, remembering that this is very different to a conference that you would see normally in the outdoors. This is a summit. So what we are doing is driving content around some of the challenges and the opportunities of the outdoor, and getting the people there that can make those policy decisions or change. And so we can walk away knowing that there's progress towards the changes that we need to see in the industry. So really excited about this one. And on the screen there, you can see we do have an Equity Summit giveaway, which basically means that if you really want to be there and you can't afford to be there, you can certainly apply through our equity giveaway. And we've got 5 tickets up for grabs for those people that really would like to take that up. So jump into that survey that you see there, same intro as the previous surveys, outdoors.carteret.com/survey/equity summit, and apply through that process so we can make sure you get there. The other one too is if you're in the ACT and you want to come along, please let me know, because I'm trying to work with the ACT government at the moment to support some people attending from the ACT so they can bring back that knowledge and embed it into the ACT outdoors area. So yeah, again, let me know. Yep, as we said, the early bird's extended till the 12th of May, so you can get your tickets for as low as $250 if you're a member, or $350 if you're not. And we do have the members rate extended to DOMS members as well in Outdoors Queensland. So if you're in Queensland and you're a member of DOMS, we see you as one of our own, and we would love to extend you that membership offer as well. Connect and Share's coming up. We've got a bit of a lineup into the next couple of months, but certainly the 19th of May, I'll be actually coming back from the Parks and Leisure Australia conference. So I thought in that one, I'll do a little bit of a summary about what was talked about, what the key topics were, where the innovations were, and share that with you next week. The couple of ones after that, there's a couple of speakers that haven't confirmed, but I'll come back to you when they do. The 2nd of June, we have PK Integrity coming along. Normally a PK accountancy firm, but PK Integrity is part of their organisation that's going to come and talk to you about some of the IR law changes, and in particular around whistleblowing. So it's a really good one as an organisation to be across and ensure that you are compliant with that new IR requirement. The 9th of June, we have the Department of Health and Cancer Council coming along. You might have seen in your members' newsletter around the outdoor worker campaign that the Cancer Council and the Department of Health have been pushing. I've since reached out and said, right, we need to work with you on this because we're not engineering and we're not building and construction, which is where you're focusing, but certainly we would love to ensure that we are working with you in this, and we want to see that we are training the trainer. So as you guys are, you're leading people into the outdoors, teaching them great skills, and part of that is also dealing with the elements. So working in partnership with them is our opportunity. So you'll hear about that on the 9th of June. And on the 16th of June, we have the University of Newcastle coming to talk about the impact of events on businesses and activities and regions. So that could be a really good one for everyone to be part of. And speaking of events, my goodness, here's your list of all of the industry events that are coming up. So some of these might trigger your interest. So we've got Parks and Leisure next week, which I'll be speaking at. We've got the Sport and Recreation Skills Forum. Now that's going to take place just before our conference, our summit in Lennox Head in June. So that is an easy one. If you are attending the summit, you can come along to the Skills IQ Skills Forum as well. And then we've got the Outdoors Victoria Conference on the 13th and 14th, followed by the National Sports and Physical Activity Convention, which I'll also be speaking at on the 27th and 28th of July, the Sydney Careers Expo, which we've already talked about, the Australian Camps Association Conference on the 20th and 22nd of September, and immediately following the AAEE conference, which is, I can never remember what AAEE stands for. Dom, do you remember? It's Australian, it's experiential learning, basically.
Australian Association of Experiential Educators, I think.
Well done.
I might have got some of those letters could just stand for something. I don't know. I just made it.
We do speak an alphabet in this industry. Well, I suppose every industry does, but yes, I just know them as AAEE really well, so that's what I stick to. That one's in. Yeah.
So that there's the Skills IQ, the Sport and Rec Skills Forum. Is that in Lennox Head as well?
Yes.
At the same venue as your summit.
Same, yeah, that's right. What we're looking for, if not the same, very, very close. It'll be on the Wednesday. Our conference, our summit will be at the Thursday, Friday, and they're going to have theirs on the Wednesday, which is perfect. Yeah. So we'll start our cocktail party as immediately as they've finished.
They'll probably be thirsty after a big day of talking about skills.
Sorry, say that again.
They might be thirsty after a big day of talking about skills. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they will be. Yeah. So no, that's perfectly timed, and yeah, obviously worked with them on that one. So there's your list of what I have on the calendar. I'm sure there's some that I've forgotten there, but as soon as I find them, I'll make sure we add them into that list for you and include that all on your membership portal. Now, the only other thing I thought, sorry, Bridie.
Laurie, can I just ask one question? Are you able to send through any information about signing up for that skills forum? Because I've been keeping an eye on their website, etc., and
yes, nothing's up at the moment. No, and that's why I keep talking about the date, because I don't want people to miss out on the opportunity, but the registrations aren't open yet. Melinda has just come back from overseas and she assures me that it will come out very soon. Actually, Jeffrey, you might know more.
Yeah, the skills forums are open. So even though I guess a sign up probably will occur, some sort of expression of interest that you're coming, but they are open, so there's no limitation. So yes, you are welcome. please come along.
Even some information on when it starts, when it finishes, when it is, doesn't
that
exist
would
yet.
be great.
It doesn't
And
exist as a thing.
We are waiting on Mel, as Laurie said. So I'm sure we could hassle and dig that out, but we have a meeting next week, I believe. We'll dig that out and then share it.
Yep, I'll rely on you for the feedback on that one, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Cool.
So, okay, that's great. Any other questions before I jump on to what I thought I'd share with you next? No. Okay. So yesterday I had the amazing privilege of not only being in a board meeting of the Australian Regional Tourism Board that I sit on, but we had a brief from Tourism Australia about where they're up to. So I thought I might share that with you today, just to give you a bit of a flavour for what's actually happening in the world of tourism, and certainly Tourism Australia. Sorry, let me just grab this next screen up for you, because there is quite a lot going in this space. Oh. There we go. Finally gets up. Adobe Acrobat takes ever to get up. There we go. Can you all see that screen? Fabulous. So Bede was fabulous in his time yesterday, providing this update for us. Some of this you might have already seen from presentations that perhaps Pip has done that you've attended. Pip is the CEO of Tourism Australia, but hopefully this will give you some insight into really what they're trying to do. So as we know, they're trying to grow demand to ensure that we have a great tourism industry here in Australia. And a lot of their focus has been on the recovery of COVID, because this graph speaks volumes. And I'm sure, you know, it's no different to our sport and recreation side of the business as well. But certainly scrambling back from a zero base, that's for sure. The interesting part as we went into COVID was the incredible reliance on China as a destination. And of course, as we all know, that's been the last to open up for us as a destination for tourism. So you can see there, the colours are slightly off there, but you can see the green is the February 23, to give you a bit of a feel for how much we've got back since February. So as Bede said, we're close to 65% of where we sat in 2019 in regards to international tourism. And remembering Tourism Australia concentrates on international now. Over COVID, they did play in the domestic space, of course, but now they are definitely focusing and staying in the international sphere. You can see here the holiday versus VFR market, and the VFR was certainly had a blip because of COVID and the rush for people to come back and see their family and loved ones that they hadn't been able to see for 2 years. So that will probably, as Bede said, start to normalise and not have such a significant spike. But highly, the holiday area still remains as the key driver of visitation. Australians over deliver on expectations. This I love, because everything we stand for is in the top end of this graph. So, you know, talking about natural beauty, wildlife, coastal, aquatic, you know, that sustainable tourism side is all us. So, you know, this is where we are really exceeding, and certainly Tourism Australia are pushing that nature aspect and adventure tourism aspect, which is always so nice to hear. Net Promoter Score is increasing, so well done to those that are supplying the services and facilities. So that's good to see. But consumer confidence is still really in the watch. As we know, it's not just Australia that is looking at the cost of living problems, and certainly you can see that in the graph here, that consumer confidence is still quite unstable across the world. I will preempt that by also saying that, and I'm seeing it with some of the members and speaking to some of the members, that our adventure tourism side is experiencing a decline. And if anyone's in contrary to that, please talk to me. I'd love to hear it. And that is primarily because of the tightening of belts that is happening in the Australian market. But what we are seeing is the international side. High luxury, high spenders are still coming out and experiencing that adventure tourism. So if you are looking at your international markets, it is that high yield market that is making the most impact on Australia at the moment. And that's shown by this graph here. It's the high income that is consistently on the rise. Projected view, this probably, I don't know how people are feeling at the moment with their decline, but certainly what Tourism Australia is seeing from all the economic studies that they're doing is that the future is bright in our space. We've probably got to hang on for a little while to get through the cost of living and also the interest rate increases on the domestic side. But certainly from an international perspective, it is incredibly bright. There is a lot of interest, a lot of traction happening in international tourism. And when it comes to capacity, which is what we rely on to get people into the country, we are certainly tracking at around that 87% of what was pre-pandemic capacity. So again, that sort of assists, it's sort of build it, they will come. If you put the planes in, you tend to get them filled, and certainly the airlines do their part in getting those seats filled. That says basically the same thing. The emerging trends, I think I've covered this before out of the Destination Australia event, but Pip spoke to this really well around the trends that they're watching that will impact travel. The first one is that health concerns out of COVID have shifted to wealth concerns, the cost of living, interest rates, and all that type of thing. Needless to say, I think we know that one. The second one is consumer demand for the premium and luxury and that growth, and that is now shown in the graphs and the data that TA have put out. The third one is an increased desire for purposeful travel, that travel that does feel good and does good. So that connection to ethical purchase is increasing. So the more you can talk about your ethical connections and your giving back to environment and sustainable approaches, the more traction that will get into today's market. Love number 4. This is where nature, wellness, adventure to continue to grow. And this is why TA are really pushing adventure tourism as one of the key themes to drive people into Australia. This is us. So, you know, the more we capitalize on that and work with our friends at TA and also our state agencies, we'll get more traction in that space. Reminder that if you are in this space, your ATDW listing is incredibly, incredibly important. Dom, you had a question?
Yeah, it's more observation, Laurie, and I think a key part of that, and I think we need to push to the likes of Tourism Australia that adventure tourism and adventure activities in general, as well as that aspect of the access to nature, it's also the social connections in that piece. I think what we really want to see, if they're putting stuff out there, I reckon it needs to show groups of people together having social connections, which goes to that whole loneliness epidemic that we keep hearing about, which is partly due to COVID, right? And the social connections that you can get from just having an adventure together with a group of people, whether you know them or not. And if you know them, that's great. It can really cement it. But if you've never met them before, you still get that genuine social connection. I think, I don't know if there's a chance to influence that, but some of the images you often see, like literally an individual looking out over a mountain range, right? Yeah. But if you change that image into a group of people having a positive experience, it can actually be really strong as well. Yeah, so brilliant. Just a thought.
Really good point. And Dom, I think we've got an opportunity to influence that. Lee Sorensen, who is head of marketing, was in the meeting yesterday, and I was speaking to him about the AAAS and how some of the images actually didn't reflect some of the AAAS. And he said, oh, awesome, tell me, you know, help me. So we're going to have that conversation. So we might even add that into the mix. I think that's a really great point. So thank you for bringing that up. Number 5 is around the inclusive and accessible area, and this is one that we continually need to put a bit more focus into. We have certainly seen through the data of the ABS and the census that now we've got 1 in 5 people have a disadvantage or a disability of some sort. So ensuring that our products have that adaptability that is not seen as adaptation but part of your offer. So it's actually invisible to anyone that you're including them. That is true inclusivity. So ensuring that we give everyone that access to our products continues to be an emphasis area. The digital nomads, I love this expression. So this is people that actually work from anywhere. They're the ones that go, right, well, COVID's taught me I can work on my computer from that room to that room. Well, why don't I do that in Spain? Or why don't I do that in the middle of the outback? That is certainly growing, and we're seeing a lot of international transaction in digital nomads, but even on a domestic level. The key here is our Wi-Fi. When it comes to digital nomads, the only thing they need is really good internet. So any investment we make in this space has to be around certainly providing that option and providing that option and putting someone into a space that they feel comfortable to be working as well as enjoying the atmosphere and destination. Number 7 is travel planning has certainly shifted to always on discovery, and that is that finding the unknown, understanding things that potentially are not known by everyone continues to motivate people on their journeys and their travel choices. And number 8, technology. We know that technology is continuing to influence everything that we do, and as Pip put it beautifully, it's as easy as GPT, which we all know with ChatGPT now, how much that is doing for everyone's work, study, education, or just simply asking a really good question and getting a really good answer. So yeah, technology continues to motivate changes in this space. So look, the strategic priorities for TA, I won't go into depth, but when we look at where we sit, it's certainly around all of the different areas from nature right through to promoting working holidays and certainly the sustainable eco experiences as well. You've seen the new ad, I'm sure, with the, is it Ruby the Roo, and making an appearance in all the different countries across the world. And I think they're certainly getting some traction. It's as simple as having a little cartoon character that looks cute and getting some really good traction in the marketplace. Certainly the arrivals have continued to grow, but like as Bede and Lee both said, a marketing campaign like this has got to be in market for quite some time before you actually start seeing the results of such. They're about to launch in China now that we've got the borders opened up, and they've got a big campaign on working holidays not long after that. The cultural spikes comes to the events, the sporting events and those types of things. So as they happen, there'll be a big focus around the branding of Australia pre and post those events to capitalise on them. He did mention that his FIFA activities with the FIFA World Cup will be a great test case to the Olympics that obviously we'll have in 2032, Dom, is it? Yes, 32. So yeah, that was good. This was the Destination Australia event I went to back in March, I think, and this accessible discussion was incredible. And you can see Let's Go Surfing. Brenda was there promoting what she's doing in that space with Dylan Alcott But Lisa McEwen was certainly a standout with what they are doing in her organisation in the way of adapting and elevating that conversation of inclusivity. So it goes with that theme that I spoke about a little time ago. And here you go. This is the 24% of travellers are considering Australia because they've got an accessibility need. So you can see that drive and that demand for the services. There's a couple of the campaign areas that they're working on. This is where we discussed around imagery and obviously showcasing the best of our imagery. And I think that's pretty much all, but I will again include this into your membership portal. So if you want to have a little closer look at it, you can download it from there. Sustainability, again, they're actually partnering with Strive for Sustainability, which is a scorecard that all businesses can benchmark themselves against and give them a bit of a rating on where they can improve. So that's a great initiative for those that want to have a look at how to benchmark themselves. Agritourism, and that's an area that we at Australian Regional Tourism are focusing on, and its values to the economy, but also to the product that we have here in Australia. So good to see that Tourism Australia are getting behind that aspect as well. Any questions on any of that? I think that's pretty much the end of the presentation. Yes, it is. Anything you want more information on that I can certainly seek for you, happy to do so. Blown you all away with that, haven't I? Awesome. All right, well, on that note, I might stop the recording for today's session and thank everyone for joining us, whether they be online live or on the recordings, and we will look forward to seeing you or speaking with you next week. So thank you again. Have a great week, everyone.